Now, having reached 15 years of age, it's natural to ask, what does the future hold for us? I believe that we can find our inspiration in what John F. Kennedy asked of Congress when our country was but 15 years out of the ashes of World War II.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Now, while most people thought that goal was impossible, we all know from history that it was successfully accomplished, and was accomplished right on schedule. And it may well be recognized as the greatest accomplishment of the 20th century.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And it is in this very same spirit that I stand before my fellow Unitarians, this Congress of our great enterprise, and I say that I believe our company should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of growing a healthy lung and transplanting it safely into an appropriate human patient. While some may think that this too sounds impossible, I am convinced that we can achieve it, and I am certain that this Apollo lung project is more readily achievable than was the Apollo moon project 50 years ago. Just as the Apollo moon program required that we first develop docking capability and orbital rendezvous skills, our Apollo lung program will first require that we develop tissue regeneration and cell biology skills. And just as the Apollo moon program required that we train a generation of computer scientists and tissue and materials engineers, our Apollo 1 project will require that we hire a generation of tissue engineers and cellular biologists. And just as the Apollo moon program required the robust economy of the 1960s to support its significant expenses, this Apollo 1 program requires the robust economics of United Therapeutics with the sales of Remodulin, Tyvaso, and Ecerca to support the growing of a human lung. We must succeed with the medicines the FDA has already approved for us and increase their sales so that we have the revenue in order to create a true cure for PAH. Now, this is a big challenge, but it will bring out the best in us, just as the moonshot brought out the best of our parents and our grandparents' generation. And unlike the moon program, though, which was undertaken to beat the Russians and was then left high and dry, we are going to design our Apollo lung program so that it is part of a complete, self-sustaining healthcare ecosystem and continues on and on. The only thing we are going to beat is the disease of pulmonary hypertension. And we will beat it as part of a commercially successful effort that enables Apollo lungs to be used against ever more pulmonary disorders, from pulmonary hypertension to pulmonary fibrosis, from cystic fibrosis to emphysema, from patients in the United States to patients in Europe, Japan, China, India, and beyond. At NASA, when each Apollo rocket blasted into space, the thousands of team members would get together and yell, Ad Astra, Latin for to the stars, as they wished Godspeed upon the astronauts.
And so please join me
my fellow Unitharians, as we launch this Apollo Lung Project, please join me in proclaiming ad cor et pulmonem, to the heart and the lungs. Thank you.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my life with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Stars, let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my life with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true.